Look, the Chicago Bears, they got the guy that everyone wants. You're looking at minimal draft capital in the grand scheme of things, and also a player with the top skill set that you want, but also you don't have to slide him in immediately as a starter because there's such an embarrassment of riches. The player that I'm talking about is Xavier Thomas. He's been the player that has turned every head of this coaching staff during OTAs this whole off season. And what I want to talk about in this video is how he's going to unlock something in Ben Johnson's offense that we haven't been able to see yet, and also enhance a part of Caleb Williams' game that he hasn't mastered yet, at least if you go statistically and the eye test. So yeah, I guess we agree that he hasn't mastered it, but also there's a barrier to him joining this team as a starter right away. You might have to see some special plays developed for him as he gets his sea legs. I'm going to talk about that barrier in this video. And also, we finally have announcements for the schedule for training camp and the rest of this offseason. Lots to cover. Let's get to this encouraging sight for the rookie's chances of being an impact player on this offense. The ESPN staff, they listed him as the most potentially surprising player from this team. And it's because he's going to bring back a part of Ben Johnson's offense that we haven't seen yet in Chicago. So since the Bears drafted Thomas, everybody's talking about how he can be a deep threat, right, for Caleb Williams. How he can also be a dangerous return man alongside Khalif Raymond, another burner. These guys don't grow on trees, to borrow from Ben Johnson's quote, as far as the speed that he possesses. But the thing is, his main thing is how elusive he is with the ball in his hand. And that's something that Johnson hasn't fully unlocked in this offense yet. These short design passes. Let's look back in Detroit as far back as 2024. This offense in Detroit ranked third in the NFL, 913 receiving yards on 118 passes thrown where? At or behind the line of scrimmage. Now with the Bears, his offense totaled just 532 yards on 102 such passes. So you're looking at almost double the receiving yards on only 16 more passes thrown at or behind the line of scrimmage. You better believe Ben Johnson is looking for a player to unlock that. And you also have a head coach that was actually giggling, drawing up plays for Xavier Thomas. I don't know if it was on a napkin or what, during the draft before the Bears even drafted him. And also, if you're looking to improve your throwing percentage as a quarterback, there's really no better way to do that. It's a total win-win, and Thomas is going to eat. I'm telling you guys, you've got Raymond, you've got Luther Burden, you've got Rome, but Williams' completion percentage of 54.1% on such throws. On short design passes, you guys, that has got to improve. And if you add a player with the talent and the versatility like Xavier Thomas, and also put him under the tutelage of Ben Johnson for one more offseason, I'm telling you, that is going to definitely go up. And as I talked about, I think last week, there's a stat that shows every single thing that a wide receiver can do to mess up a play. That's dropping passes. That's not getting his feet in bounds. That's running in the wrong route. That's anything, even having his timing off, lining up in the wrong spot. All of those things have been compiled, and the Bears are the fourth worst with that statistic, focusing specifically on the wide receiver. And then if you go in more traditional stats, the Chicago Bears are in the top 5 of wide receiver drops. You guys, you better believe that Xavier is going to be absolutely a missing piece of this offense, and Ben Johnson is going to take advantage of this. Now, Thomas was viewed as a reach at the time and that the Bears had bigger fish to fry, but I think you're going to see this along with Sam Roush. You're going to forget about all that, and about halfway through the season, you're going to be like, man, the Bears nailed another draft. Let's hear from Courtney Cronin. He labeled Thomas as the Bears' biggest surprise player from the offseason, and let's hear exactly what she had to say. the lightning fast receiver who ran a 4.28 second 40-yard dash. I almost made a Ricky Bobby noise there. At the NFL Combine, got ample reps and showed that he can be more than a special team star with his skill set on offense. He's going to have a big role in his first season. This is great news, but in order to grab that, he has to clear one major hurdle, and that's with head coach Ben Johnson, and that is learning the playbook. Now, Johnson, he doesn't throw praise around lightly. He has heaped praise on this player for how electric he's been during this offseason. But in order for the rookie to see the biggest role possible, the coaching staff has to trust him too. Well, let's hear it from Johnson. He tends to make a play almost every single day right now, and that says, okay, if we can harness all this energy and make sure that we can trust him and he's going to align where he needs to and run the route the right way that we need him to, that we could really use him and he could be a real big weapon for us this year. So really, Poles, he pointed to Thomas's ability to pick up the playbook quickly as a potential hurdle as well. And this is a real thing, you guys. And he's got a receiver room that is way ahead of him. So this is a tough system. It's going to be a challenge for him to break through quickly on offense. So maybe that role starts small and grows over time, but I don't want to put a cap on that. If he comes in and downloads fast and he's up and running, we'll see what happens. So the Bears coaching staff are doing a really good job of tempering expectations for this player, but we don't have the same limits. I'm going to continue hyping up this player because I think he's a missing piece to this offense that the Bears haven't had. And he's also going to line up at running back at times, just like DJ Moore was. I think this is such a good replacement. Even though I absolutely love DJ Moore, the price that is paid for him, plus the versatility that you're getting, I think down the road, this is going to be a really smart move. Letting DJ Moore go and the money that we are paying him to Buffalo, even though I love him and I respect him, I think this was the right move, and bringing in Xavier Thomas was a brilliant capper to that. Now let's look at training camp like I promised. We're no longer in the dark on the dates. Rookies are going to enter camp on July 25th to Hallis Hall, and then veterans will be there 3 days later on Tuesday, July 28th. That's when veterans report for pretty much all the teams in the NFL. So normal training camp, but joint practices. Let's talk about that. And I absolutely love this. Training camp, it's going to be on Thursday, August 20th. This joint practice with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, they're not having any joint practices at home. They're all going to be away. They are going to Ohio. 2 days of joint practices, and then the teams square off in preseason week 2 on August 22nd. I absolutely love this. I don't have to tell you what a test this Cincinnati Bengals offense is going to be for the Chicago Bears defense in joint practices and for the preseason game. But I love the joint practice because you're going to see starter on starter, and we have to keep our eyes peeled for that to see if this defense really is improved, like the coaching staff and Ryan Poles has said. They're counting on this revamped secondary to really carry the defense, but I have more faith on this defensive line and the development of Austin Booker than anybody else that I've listened to recently does. We'll see if I'm right. But then the other team we're having a joint practice with is the Tennessee Titans the week following on August 22nd before their final preseason game on August 29th. And we're looking at these joint practices being a really good thing. And also, let's not sell Tennessee short. Their defense should present a solid challenge. They have Robert Saleh as their defensive coordinator, and they've made a lot of changes. So I'm really excited for this offseason. Really excited to see Xavier Thomas ball out. So appreciative of you guys, and we'll talk tomorrow. See ya.